Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that might completely change the way you see your own body. Because your symptoms are not random. They have a rhythm, a cycle, and that cycle is not a coincidence. Think about it for a second. Does your stomach act up on weekday mornings but not on weekends? Do you rush to the bathroom right before an important meeting? Does bloating start creeping in during stressful periods? If you nodded at any of those, your gut is trying to tell you something. According to research, functional digestive disorders among individuals aged 18 to 35 are increasing at a striking rate. And the vast majority of people in this age group live with their symptoms for years. Because the symptoms don't always show up the same way. They come, they go, come, go. So most people brush it off with "I probably ate something bad." But what's actually happening is a much deeper pattern playing out beneath the surface. There's a concept called the gut-brain axis. Think of it like this. Between your gut and your brain, there's a phone line that's open 24 hours a day, always busy, always transmitting. The traffic on that line is heavier than you could imagine. Studies in neurogastroenterology show that the network of nerve cells in the gut is the largest in the body after the brain itself. That's why the gut is called the second brain, and that's not just a catchy metaphor. Most people overlook entirely when it comes to their digestive health, and that is the idea that your gut symptoms are not isolated random events, but rather a deeply interconnected response system that reflects everything happening in your life. From what you eat and how you sleep, to how much stress you carry on a daily basis. According to research, the gut and the brain are in constant two-way communication through what scientists call the gut-brain axis, a network so complex and so active that disruptions in your emotional state can directly alter the speed of your digestion. In one study, this subject was examined through the lens of the relationship between chronic low-grade inflammation and psychological stress. Researchers observed that individuals under persistent stress showed increased intestinal permeability, meaning the tight junctions between gut wall cells were loosening. This is what lays the groundwork for what's commonly known as leaky gut, and when leaky gut sets in, particles that should never enter the bloodstream start slipping through. The immune system fires up in response. And once that cycle starts, the symptoms go well beyond stomach pain. Fatigue, headaches, skin issues, mood swings. All pieces of the same pattern. According to research, young adults raised on a Western diet have seen a dramatic decline in gut microbiome diversity over the past 50 years. I want you to picture a forest. A healthy forest has hundreds of species: oaks, pines, beeches, ferns, fungi. That diversity is what makes the forest resilient. But an industrial monoculture farm, all one crop, collapses the moment a single pest arrives. Your gut microbiome works exactly the same way. Processed foods, refined sugar, additives, they wipe out specific species in that forest. The ones that survive start to dominate. And this imbalance is what the scientific literature calls dysbiosis. When dysbiosis takes hold, the short-chain fatty acids your gut needs to function properly, especially butyrate, can no longer be produced in sufficient amounts. Why does butyrate matter? Because it's the primary energy source for your intestinal cells. Essentially, your gut starts running out of its own fuel. In one study, this subject was examined in terms of how butyrate-producing bacterial colonies strengthen in individuals following a fiber-rich diet. The findings were striking. In just 4 weeks, participants who shifted to consuming 30 grams of fiber per day showed significant improvements in both microbiome diversity and gut barrier function. There's a subtle but important distinction here. Not all fiber is the same. Prebiotic fiber is different from resistant starch, which is different from polyphenols. Each one feeds different types of bacteria. So eating an apple is not the same as eating an artichoke when it comes to your microbiome. Diversity is the key word here too. Let me ask you something. When do you feel discomfort after eating? Right away, an hour later, or the next morning? That timing is giving you crucial clues about where the problem originates. Immediate reactions usually point to the stomach or esophagus. Symptoms arriving a few hours later can suggest fermentation in the small intestine, and next-day responses are often tied to the large intestine and microbiome activity. According to research, individuals who kept a symptom journal benefited significantly more from dietary changes than those who didn't. Because to see a pattern, you need data. Your gut has its own language. And learning that language is the most critical step in this whole equation. So here's what I want you to do. For the next 2 weeks, don't just track what you eat, track how you feel. Write down what time you ate, how you slept, your stress level, and any symptoms that followed. At the end of 2 weeks, when you look back at that page, you will most likely see a pattern emerge. And once you see that pattern, the question is no longer why does this keep happening to me? It becomes how do I change this? And that moment, that is when real change begins. If this video made you see your symptoms differently, share it with someone who's been brushing off their gut issues for too long. Because awareness is always the first step. And if you want to go deeper into the science of nutrition and digestion, make sure you're subscribed. There's a lot more coming, and trust me, your gut will thank you for it.